What's up, YouTube? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you yet another album review on this slow day in Colombia. It's really nasty outside and kind of boring, but that's okay, because I am almost done with my REM discography review. Right now I'm going to get Around the Sun out of the way, because Around the Sun is not a very impressive album. Listening to Around the Sun, released in 2004, is like meeting an old friend that you haven't seen in years. And when you meet them, you can kind of see the person that you used to know, but you're not really interested in the person that you see now. The band really touches and I think draws from their earlier style, but this album is it kind of sounds like the band's trying to reclaim their former glory, and they don't do a very good job of it, if that is their motive. There's moments on here where you're like, oh, that's REM, and then they're gone. So, and then overall the album's pretty mediocre. The songwriting I don't think is really that good. Overall it's up until, it's the most disappointing out of, so far, the albums after Bill Berry's departure from the band. So yeah, it's Around the Sun. Yeah, it's and the other thing about this album is it's like a ballad album. Like, there's some upbeat songs on here, there's some fast songs, but there's no energy in this album. There's a serious lack of energy, and there's no intensity to the slower songs. There's no emotional intensity, and it's a disappointing album, to tell the truth. It really is. So originality, I'm gonna go with a 6, for two reasons. Like I said, REM tries to touch on their former sound, but they don't exactly succeed. And then, while the songs really are original, they're not original in a good way. It's like the most bland, empty kind of originality that you can reach. So that's originality. How much I like this album gets a 4. What a 4 is an album where I can listen to about 30% of the music once through, but by the end of that I start to get bored and I move on to something else. So that's a 4. Production, the production on this album is okay. It doesn't have the gloss to it. You can definitely hear, old. You can, there's a lot of like Scott Litt-like production on here, especially on the songs that have acoustic guitar. When you listen to the songs that have acoustic guitar, the tone and the sound quality of the guitar sounds like, the kind of production that you would hear on an Automatic for the People or Out of Time. It's got a lot of pop to it. There's a lot of soul in the tone. There's not, it's not an empty, overproduced kind of tone. But when it comes to Michael Stipe's vocals, his vocals are overproduced. They're way overproduced. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about production. Flow is not good. This is one of those albums where it just goes on in a straight line. There's no deviance. There's no moments. It's just, it's just bland and mediocre and boring kind of flow. There's no surprising moments. There's nothing that draws you back in after you've been listening to it for a while. It's a flat album. So that's what I gotta say about flow. So overall, it's not the worst thing that REM has done, but it's not interesting in the least sense, in any sense. So Around the Sun. So that's what I gotta say. Don't get this album. It's really not worth the money. There's there are moments on this album that are kind of interesting, but they're not worth it. They really aren't worth it. They don't have the punch or the pop to them that REM usually delivers. So don't get this album. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. This is SirAllAboutMusic, and I will see you guys next time.